Femi Adeyeye. He was among the people so arrested in Lagos and were later released at the Area F station in Ikeja, Lagos. But then part of the things we are going to be discussing also includes the response of President Muhammadu Buhari's or General Muhammadu Buhari's spokesperson, who said that the revolutionary protest of yesterday was mere child's play. That is an assessment of it. And then uh, Femi Adeyeye is going to be responding to that claim by Femi Adesina, and I have him already on the show, ready to give us an assessment so far. But then I think the network with him is not too cooperating. But then we'll still manage it, and then let's have it. Femi Adeyeye, welcome on the show. Can you hear
Oh,
me?
thank you very much.
Okay, very great. So,
Well,
can you quickly just give us a recap of what happened? What was your experience yesterday at Area F? And how were you rounded up?
of course, we've always expected the repressive act of this government. We are so used to it, and but it's just it's just something very unfortunate when we are used to unfortunate, things. Just like Nigerians have now so adapted to suffering, to the point that anything that happens in this country, everyone looks for a way to adapt, to just adapt to the whole thing. So what happened yesterday was we were forced to repress dispatch. The crowd was dispatched because the police officers could not undo the kind of agitation that that was happening at that time as computers
Uh,
village. So they had to
just
dispatch.
one moment. Let me try to call again. The network is, I mean, the audio is not too good from your side. So let me try again in case it is the network so that we can get it better this time. Okay, so I'm reattempting Femi Adeyeye to bring him back in now. And then hopefully it should be better this time. All right, so we have Adeyeye back um, in the studio. So let us continue. I guess it doesn't have network. Let's wait a little for him and see if the network improves on his end. Mm.
That's on the street.
You don't have network.
Part of the issues, right? When you pay for poor service, poor network, poor everything. Nigeria
Okay,
follows you everywhere you go
I
to.
can understand. Accept my sympathy. So you were explaining to us what happened yesterday.
Yes. So at first, when the agitation got to a particular level, the police officers could not um, withstand such. They could not withstand or tolerate the kind of agitation that happened at Computer Village. Because from experience, I understand that when you see people um, protesting, the number of people protesting with them already on that street, in fact, is even more than the number of people gathering. Because there are no jobs in Nigeria. So don't be deceived by the number of people who walk around. There are no jobs. They have nowhere they are going to. You see, some of them just carry bags, they put on suits and ties. And you know that the High Court, Lagos State High Court, is not far from there too. We have some lawyers who are just dressing as if they are going to court, but courts have been shut down since COVID. You understand? So they were even part of the whole thing. And I understand that the intelligence officers who were working with the police guys could understand that if you allow these people to continue talking, yeah, this they won't be able to handle the situation, and that was the reason why they had to disperse us at that time with tear gas, pepper spray, and all of that. So at that point, we had to regroup as a reconvene after some 30 minutes after the whole drama.
Hmm. Okay, that is network DSS now. Network police at this point. Okay, Welcome back.
Okay. So Agba Jalingo joined in. Yeah, just manage it that way. So Agba Jalingo joined in at that time. He addressed the crowd. We were talking to the men who were selling selling things on that railway line. After that time, I picked up the megaphone and I was addressing. So these task force guys came, the mobile police officers and all that. And the race started. The whole place became, I don't even know how to explain. It was as if it was a national. We didn't know ascertain what was chasing us. We could not see. People were just running. At the point we had to stop because they were in front. We had like some 50 police officers also at the back. So we just had to stop at that point. And then at that point we were rounded up. We insisted that we would all be. Can you hear me?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. We insisted that we would all be in the same van. And so they had to go and bring a bigger one at the end of the day. A Black Maria, you know what we call Black
To
Maria, and then
you.
loaders, yes, to bundle all of us. Right there, we were, in fact, in high spirits, people were, you know, singing songs and all of that. And that was why when we got to the commissioner's office, the headquarters, we were just there for, let's say, 20 minutes. Because I'm very sure the man could not undo the whole noise we were making. We were discussing. It became a political symposium. The police officers who arrested us were lectured. And many of them became our friends immediately because they understand what we're talking about. And after that time, we were taken to Area F. We were there. Almost the same thing. They came at different times. Like 4 delegations of police officers. Each delegation having like 5 officers. So we're talking about 20 people coming to us to persuade us not to join revolution now, protest again. They also told us that we needed a permit to protest. They're just coming with different figments of lies and all of that. So we were just defeating them point for point. Now there's a celebrated case.
A celebrated case already. Very famous one that protesters do not need permit by police to be able to go out and protest. People have rights to protest. I remember that one. Yeah. It was even in the case of Buhari.
Even involved these useless just need to enter into any case and all that. After that, we were arraigned, after sitting for like 4 good hours. We were arraigned before a magistrate, and we pleaded not guilty to the charge, just a charge, which is the conduct likely to cause breach of peace, the normal thing they used to say. And but at the end of the day, the state council struck out the thing. He said the charges that we freed the 19 of us yesterday.
Okay, let me quickly ask you, because of the network challenge that we are facing, I don't want us to stretch it too long so that we don't belabor people who are listening. Today, an assessment statement made by General Muhammadu Buhari is that what all of you guys did yesterday was child's play, especially citing the number of people that turned out, and that you people are just joking around and you are irritant. How would you respond or reply, Femi? You are both Femi. You are Femi Adeyeye, is Femi Adesina.
No, that's the unfortunate thing about this whole issue. I feel bad that I bear the same name with such person who is suffering from what I would call half education. You know, when you are poorly educated, that's what you get. There is something this government is telling Nigerians, and it's very simple, that the cries of Nigerians, the cries are irritating to this government. You know, that's what Femi Adesina has just done. In fact, what he has just said is that the cries of Nigeria, the cry that, okay, we want education at all levels to be qualitative. The fact that we are calling to end of insecurity and killings. The fact that we are asking that the minimum wage that they promised all those who are being implemented, all he has just said is that we are just making noise. We are, these things are sounding like irritations to them. But one thing is very clear. It's either this government does not understand democracy or they do not appreciate it. These are two.
I think at this point I might have to just try to do um, a voice call and see if we have better, if we have something better from there. At least that would not require a lot of. That should not require a lot of bandwidth to connect. Okay,
Yes, hello?
let's take audio. Okay, let's go audio.
Audio.
Yes,
All right.
just continue. Yeah,
So,
people can hear you.
all right. So, as I was saying, it's a clear indication that it's either this government does not understand democracy or does not appreciate it. And that is what Femi Adesina has done with that kind of comments, as in talking down on Nigerians, calling out the cries of Nigerians, irritations to this government. And in fact, this should be frowned at by all, well-meaning Nigerians. And one thing he does not understand also is the nature of protest and in fact the historical nature of revolution. You do not expect someone like him to understand all of these things, because there's this saying that when you are 18 you don't talk, and so he's obeying table manners at this time. The table is going to change, it's going to turn. At that point, then the masses will then determine, they will dictate how government should be run. And then let's just see what is going to be their own lot at that time.
Part of the things he said is that
Okay.
the size of the people that came out does not.
So,
It gives the whole thing off as a charade. It gives it off as an unserious outing.
and
But
that's okay.
aren't you truly bothered about the number or the size of people who are truly interested? If we want to say truly that Nigerians are tired, does that number
Definitely,
justify that Nigerians are truly tired?
yes, yes, and yes. And Nigerians are tired. That's the truth. You cannot take that
Okay,
away from, and
but
you
does the
can
number of people that came out justify that Nigerians are truly tired?
Even under the military, nobody ever
Can you hear
entered the
me?
courtroom to try to.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay,
Can you hear
great.
me?
Go ahead. Yes.
Okay. At every level of a revolution, consciousness does not move in a straight line. It is sinusoidal. So you do not expect at this point, for example, let me put it this way. Who would expect that the darling Buhari was the darling of everybody in 2014, 2015, would be heavily chastised or criticized like we're having today? So it's a gradual process. But one thing the likes of Femi Adesina do not understand, which is, it's a product of bad education that has been passed from one generation to another, is the fact that you do not
The network again. Hello.
hello?
Okay, go ahead.
I guess this is Femi Adesina's prayer. All right. So you do not stop down on citizens, however small or large they are in number. And that was what even the channel's presenter was telling him, that do you now determine the seriousness of people by the
We have to keep waiting for this, and it's just quite unfortunate. I'm so sorry about all this. So go ahead,
Hello?
please. Welcome back.
All right. Oh, in fact, I think this man is praying very hard. I heard he's a deacon. All right. So, an average US citizen would pick up a placard and would attract the attention of the government. Just one person will pick up a placard. It has happened before. You know, there's so many examples. We can even check Google will assist us. Just pick up a placard and write, in fact, very derogatory remarks. Derogatory as fuck Trump. And then it would gain attention of the government. The government want to listen to that person. But yeah, it just tells us that, you know, we have people who are benighted, who are bereft of ideas, who don't even understand, you know, citizenship or democracy at all. You understand? And that's why you can now start measuring the seriousness of citizens or the seriousness of even the issues that we are raising by the number of people who are coming out. It is only an unserious government that will send armed, you know, masked men, soldiers, police officers, you know, they will send them after people who are just, it's child's play. If it's child's play, leave us alone. Why do you have to send that kind of contingent of armed men against people who are just joking? You should have just allowed, you know, you should people who are doing child's play. You should have just allowed the child's play to continue. You should have, you know, released Showore from Abuja. You know, it's child's play. Why do you then hold somebody down? I'm very sure the lawyers who are representing Showore would have to use Femi Adesina's video, this interview with channels, in court as, you know, as an evidence that the whole revolution thing that they said Showore wants to take over the government, it's child's play, according to the media head of Buhari who works in this government. You know, that it was not even a protest. You know, according to Femi Adesina, he said it was not, do you call that a protest? So all of these things will be used in courts in later day. But it's just to tell you how badly educated this element is.
All right, I'm going to ask you, because another thing is said is that some of the things that were listed in the demands of the protesters yesterday are not peculiar to Nigeria. There are things like insecurity and the rest of them are not peculiar to Nigeria. So don't you guys think you should just go back to bed and sleep? Because it's a universal problem, according to Femi Adesina.
You see, to keep you know, the worst person, or let me say the most difficult person to wake, is that person who is pretending to sleep. You can wake somebody who is sleeping, who is truly sleeping. But that person who is pretending to sleep, it will be very difficult. And that is, you know, that explains Femi Adesina. He understands everything he's saying. You know, he knows he's lying. Do you get it? And so, for example, in fact, the mega city called Lagos is one of the most dangerous places as a city to live in the world after Syria. Lagos, the Lagos we are talking about, which is the mega city, the smart city, and all of that. So, what a serious government would do in serious crimes is to take all of these issues. You know, if I were these guys, you don't make heroes out of, you know, all these child's play, all these jokers. You know, what you should have done is to pick up at least one of the demands and, in fact, just listen to it. To say insecurity is a global issue, then ask yourself, how?
We have to wait for that to reconnect again. I'm so sorry about this. It's terrible. I can't wait for 5G.
Hello?
Welcome back.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Oh, okay. So sorry, please. So there is this explanation of progressivism, which means that government at all points must show that they are progressing, as in it is progressing on social issues, on welfare. Do you get it? That's even some arguments by some reformists, people who believe in reformism and all of that. That government must show at every point in time that, okay, we are progressing on this issue. And this is going to lead me to a particular discussion I was having with someone recently on a chapter of the Constitution that is talking about free education and all of these things. And but there's a clause to it that says that all these things will not come into play just now. That clause is I think is an adjectival clause. It says as at when practicable. You understand that unemployment stipends will be given to unemployed people as at when practicable. And now, so let us ask ourselves: 13.5 billion naira to a senator monthly. That one is always practicable. You understand? And that one will always be practicable. But free education will not be practicable. 200 million naira constituency allowance. That one is always practicable. That security votes practicable. Furniture allowance practicable. But funding healthcare, funding education, giving the military the weapon that they need to fight terrorism and banditry, that one will never be practicable. And that is what this man is saying. So we cannot listen. You cannot put the problem of Nigeria in the hands of people who are bereft of ideas, who don't have any idea of what is even happening in the country. You have a Buhari who you would ask a question about Lagos, he would talk about Abuja. Ask him about Abuja, he will talk about Yobe. It's only so you just have people who are confused, but who are ignorantly, and that's why they are pushing Femi Adesina to talk to people. When you are ignorant about an issue, yet you are still arrogantly ignorant, it is better for you to be humble in your ignorance so that people can help you out. But when you are arrogantly ignorant, that is what defines Femi Adesina.
Well, let me ask two more questions. The first one here is, we saw recently that terrorists were released to go. In fact, they were adorned in a special uniform and ceremonially discharged to go home. In fact,
give them money.
That they were even given some money as takeaway. But those ones were people who killed other Nigerians. Those were people who were harmed and were killing Nigerian soldiers. And now, how did, I don't know what psychology here, but how did it become that placard became more threatening and more frightening to the government than terrorists carrying guns and bombs? Yes.
I studied building before I was suspended. You did psychology. Maybe I should throw that question back to you. But this is
back to me, right?
Of course. But don't know that's just.
But there's a reason I gave it to you.
Okay. Maybe you think I did something related to them, but no problem. The state enjoys violence. It is violence that keeps the state informed. And when I say the state, I'm talking about the ruling class. And that is why even this movement, they're trying to provoke this movement towards violence. The state is very cool with violence, you understand? Because it is true that you would have many dasukis, so they are very fine with violence. Gun for gun, is it not gun to gun? They have more guns if they want to, even though they are stealing the money for arms deal and all of that. Arms to get out.
They are terrorizing the network again. They are terrorizing the network. Okay. Hopefully we'll be back shortly now.
What kind of network is this?
Yes, you're back. You are back in.
Hello?
Go ahead. Yes.
I'm just moving everywhere looking for network. All right. As I was saying,
go on top of your
they are finding it very difficult.
Yes,
don't worry. They're finding it very difficult, to tolerate people who are, engaging the masses. You see, the most potent weapon of liberation is education. When you educate the masses and you make them understand the reason why they are suffering, so that they do not start, mischaracterizing their problems, to then think their problem is an issue of destiny. Maybe in their village that is doing them, quote and unquote. But you're not pointing them towards government. For example, while I was something like this happened in that was in 2018. Was it 2018? There was an ASU strike. And what did we do as an organization, Alliance of Nigerian Students Against Neoliberal Attacks? We did not go on protests like the normal protest. We only went to the markets and we were engaging, market women, telling them why ASU would always go on strike and all of that. Do you believe that the governor of Ogun State that evening had to run to the a radio station to announce that some persons have entered, Ogun State, and they are sponsored by PDP to bring down this government, to disgrace the government. So they find that, they find this mass education, mass consciousness, they find it very threatening than guns. Because when people are educated, they are liberated. And then they can stand up and tell you to your face that enough is enough. For example, and that's why some of us we don't feel bad when they call us terrorists and all of that. Yes, because we look like that. We are rebels. Why are we rebels? The people who fought against slavery, they also called terrorists at the time they started. The slave abolitionists, they were terrorists. Because when you disobey the order, and when I mean order, I'm talking about status quo. The status quo says everybody should stand at ease. But you are not standing at ease. Maybe you are sitting on the floor. That is civil disobedience. You are disobeying the order. You are therefore, a rebel to the system. And that is what they are afraid of. They are afraid of having more people standing up against them. Because if this thing continues the way it is, it's in fact very interesting. I thought I was a stubborn person, but yesterday I was arrested alongside some of the most stubborn people this country has not heard of. In fact, this ruling class are a serious problem.
When you come back, I'll just ask this question to connect with what you're already saying. So, Femi, welcome back. There's this question I want to ask you from this ongoing statement you're making already. Well, if the DSS, the police, the Nigerian army, the Nigerian government, the current junta as it stands right now, is saying that you guys are not serious, you are doing child's play because you are carrying placards, even though they dread it. About this time last year, when the Revolution Now movement got started, it was met by the same kind of government resistance. Harm for placard. And then so this is 1 year down the line, and you guys are still pushing placard for harms. How soon do you think this will achieve results? Placard for harms. Using placard to confront harms. Do you think it will still continue and more people will be willing to join when all you have is placard and what you are going to confront is gone?
Definitely. Yes, we have history, to always fall back to. Many times we are faced with, dicey issues like this. Like you've just painted, arms for, we have history. And we can talk about the, racial discrimination in the US that was fought also through, we had this Malcolm X way to it, which is the violence part of it. We also have the Martin Luther King approach to it. As an individual, I'm speaking as an individual now, we all have a philosophy of violence. Like Shoyinka was asked one time, he was having an interview with El Shakaf, a Turkish writer. And he was asked, he said, there was a time you picked up a gun and you took over the radio station and all of that, And jokingly he laughed and he said, we all have a philosophy of violence. You would not expect me to write a poem when a woman is being raped next door. I hope you get that.
Absolutely.
You would not. I used to say this thing most times whenever I want to explain this aspect of violence and arms for placards and all of that, or pen is mightier than the sword, or you do not expect me to write a poem when a woman is being raped next door. You would not. An armed robber will not be pointing guns at you and you are writing press statements. You should know that also. I know you understand what I'm talking about.
Absolutely,
but
I get.
At that point,
the circumstance will determine.
And it has always been the state determining the reaction of the people. They are the ones who enjoy violence. You understand? But you do not move to that level. You don't move to that stage. I can say it without educating the people properly. The people must be quite. They must. they must become ideologues. They must become carrier of the message. They must understand, the perspectives. They must understand the kind of country we are looking at, the kind of system we want to upturn, the kind of system we want to replace. Because if we do not understand all of this, we will just keep shouting revolution, and at the end of the day, we'll replace one tyrant with, in fact, another dictator. But if we understand where we are going to, and that is why most times people talk about the uprisings that have happened, in Africa, especially in East, East Africa and all of that, that they do not end well. That it's either you replace one dictator with another. It is because the work of education was not properly done. I stand to be corrected, but it is one of the reasons, why all of these uprisings, quote and unquote, do not, achieve or do not bring the required, the results, that was set up. For example, I disagree with some of the statements of I don't want to mention his name now. Sorry, I don't want to mention his name. When he was talking about the guys who did the 1966 coup, the Ifejuana, the Kaduna Nzogu guys, and all of that. They called it a revolution also. That they were just tired. These guys were just tired as military boys, and they felt, okay, we can just shoot one or two persons, and then we take over power. And in fact, they were even planning to bring Awolowo and make him, the president at that time and all of that. That was what they were thinking at that time. And it was revolutionary in a way because of the kind of, the intention.
Okay, at this point, I think I might have to let Femi answer just one more question and we close it. Okay, Femi, sorry
Yes.
again. I understand your plight. But
Okay.
let me ask one last question and we close it. Just just make
Okay.
it very straight. Summarily, just
Straight.
answer.
Okay.
There are millions of Nigerians watching Big Brother Nigeria or other kinds of
Mm.
shows. They are always on Instagram. But if you measure it, are you encouraged that people are waking or not even waking up at all when you call for protests to, something that concerns their plights directly versus the fluff they give attention to in the country? If you
Okay.
wait, do you think people are waking or do you think they are not?
Definitely. Like I said earlier, I've mentioned it earlier. I said social consciousness is not in a straight line. It's sinusoidal. It moves up, it comes down. It moves up, it comes down. You understand? And that is why in 2012, someone could, hike the price of fuel, and then it became an issue. But now the same thing is happening. In fact, twice. But it seems like nobody's talking. Do you understand? So, BB Ninja, so many of these things are mere distractions, in my own opinion, just to keep the people down, make sure they do not talk about the, serious issues that affect their life. But as revolutionaries or as activists, you do not base, you must move on with the courage of your conviction and not applause or some kind of how do I put it? No, it's not pecuniary. I'm looking for something to, some kind of acknowledgement from the people. This is a fight for survival. But the average Nigerian has been beaten down the humanity line. We've left the poverty line, so this is humanity line now. So where it is now, everyone is a survivalist. You just want to survive at every minute. You've not eaten now. Look at what happened, George Floyd. What happened in the US? Almost immediately, people came out and they were protesting. They've left in the US. They've left that level of food, shelter. They've left that basic needs. They are not talking serious issues like gun control, foreign policy, healthcare. But yeah, we are still talking about when the governor even tars a road. When the governor tars a road in this country, he becomes the best governor. You see people talking about him on newspapers.
Giving him awards.
The best governor in Nigeria is a governor that pays salaries, promptly. You understand? Something that should be normal work. It should be, the normal duty of the state. Do you get it? So we are still at that level, and we must just be very patient with the people. And I would end it this way: we cannot do a revolution on behalf of the people.
Mm.
The people must be ready. That's just it. You cannot start forcing them. You must fight to say. You cannot do a
Maybe
revolution
that
on
is
behalf
what
of the
Femi
people.
Adesina is trying to say.
No, it was just being, how do I put it? He was talking down, on the sufferings of Nigerians. That's what he's saying. What I'm
Meaning that
saying,
Nigerians
yeah.
are not necessarily suffering as you are making it look like.
No, we are not making it look like. No, he should come on the streets. Let us go to Ikeja on that bridge together. I challenge Femi Adesina to a street debate. Let us go to the street and then let's ask if people are enjoying. Because he stays in Abuja. Oh no, then let us even go to Ikeja. We have some places in Abuja where we'll take him to, outside Aso Drive, and then we'll start asking people if they are suffering. We can do a survey tonight and ask if people are suffering, and so we would then look at the results. So he's just being, very myopic and very arrogant with the nonsense he was spewing earlier today. You understand? But that's by the way. But what I'm saying now is a message to the Nigerian people, to the Nigerian working people and the masses. It's that we must get to a point where we all say enough is enough, and we, who are just, and I used to tell some of my comrades, they are appearing now like the vanguards, like the strong men, and all of that. At the right time, we would look like the laziest. At the right time, when this whole thing gets very ripe, we will look like the laziest of comrades.
Hmm. Hmm. Because by then, those ones may not even be using placards again. you are, you guys were truly joking using placards. Okay, I think I should let Femi go now. Let me not bother him. He has tried. Thank you so much, Femi, for this time spent with us today. And all right, so thank you, gentlemen and ladies. That's the far we can go with Femi Adeyeye talking about uh, giving an assessment of the outing yesterday, the revolutionary protesters. Tomorrow, I hope we'll be able to make the line open for as many people as want to talk about it. And then, hopefully, we should also be able to get uh, update on the comrades who were arrested in Oshun. We learned they are not being released. They refused to release them for whatever reason best known to them. But some of them were released, but mandate was taken again, and there's a special interest in his own case, so they are not even releasing him. And then the young core member who also decided to join the protest, I think those are the two special cases that the DSS has special interest in, and they do not want to release them, but they let the others go, as I understand. I will bring the update again as they unfold tomorrow, so that we can keep track on everybody and everything. So thank you so much, everybody, for your time, and we'll see you tomorrow again. Tomorrow, if I come back early and I'm able to do this early, I want to talk about, somebody should remind me, let me put it on something. I want to talk about why I'm not really doing too much on the clamor for um, Oduduwa Republic and all that, because somebody asked me, Shegun, why are you not talking about Oduduwa Republic on your show every day? I said, well, it's not that I don't want to talk about it, but I'll dedicate a whole show to talk about it. Um, Not that I don't believe in any clamor or any decision for self-determination. Of course, I like anything that is about freedom, especially deviation from past or convention or norm. I love it because I love to see what is new and what the new thing promises. But then there are some things I'll just look on the surface and I can already tell that this one, there's really no depth yet, even though I believe I would have loved it. But I'll dedicate an entire show to the reason I am not doing Oduduwa Republic every day or Biafra, talk every day. I'm on ground. You understand? So, and I know when something will have some elements, excuse me, will have some elements I will know. When something is just are just some kind of mantra for now, I will also know. Or just some kind of catchword or catchphrases, I will also know. So yes, I would love that Nigeria returns to its default prior to the invasion of the or invasion by the colonial masters who lumped everything up and amalgamated or forced the regions together and called it one country. But then, so I believe that we should first return to the default. But before then, there are some things that there are some requirements, and I'll talk about all of those tomorrow. Well, if I am able to come back in time, we'll discuss that topic. And G wants my number. Yeah, I usually leave it on the screen. Let me put it again. But it's only WhatsApp. This number is WhatsApp only. So please do WhatsApp and then we can talk. So at this point, I want to call it a day and then I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye for now and thanks for watching.